Alrighty, let's get this started. I have some music playing in my own background to help me control my thoughts, which is why you guys don't hear any desktop audio in the recording. I am commentating while I'm playing through an simulated universe, so that way I can just stay on topic what I want to talk about today. So, to start off with the topic we're going to talk about, obviously you saw the title. We all know Honkai Star Rail 3.0 just came out, right? Everyone, well, I think everyone was super excited for it because it's like, hey, a brand new area patch, right? Gonna see a whole new area. It's gonna be a whole new branch of story. It's gonna be great. Because, granted, there was some ups and downs to Penacony, but overall, I think Penacony was pretty decent for a gacha game story, right? Because let's be real, gacha game stories aren't gonna be on the same caliber of story like a game like Final Fantasy 16 or Persona. It's just not, and it most likely never will, unless they just stop being lazy. But that's just my opinion. I don't really think we'll ever get a story from a gacha game that's gonna be as good as a modern AAA game. But once again, we're not here to get on off track or anything. I'll probably clip up some of this if I get super off track, but I'm not here to say that. I did a stream. Obviously, I don't really have many people watch my streams, but I played through the entirety of the 3.0 story. I haven't done any side quests. I haven't done any side story yet, but I played through all of the main story, all 9.5 hours of it. And I'm gonna be honest, it was very disappointing. Now, I know they said in the live stream that apparently this 3.0 story, the entirety of it, is supposed to span across the entirety of version 3. And then we're potentially going to the next story in version 4. But just based off of what I've seen right now, if that's what we're set up for, it doesn't look too good. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very disappointing pacing. So for those that didn't play it, obviously spoilers ahead. If you did not play through the 3.0 story yet, I'm going to be spoiling it because I'm going to be talking about it. But yeah, so basically, obviously, we go to the new area called Ampharos, or Ampharos, however you pronounce it. I'm going to get a bunch of pronunciations wrong here. I do apologize in advance if I can't pronounce anything correctly. But basically, we're going to the new area, right? And first thing that was a big red flag for me, a very big red flag, was the fact that we did not go with either Black Swan or Sunday. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate Sunday. I'll be real. I don't mind the redemption arc that he had during the 2.7 story, but I feel like the fact that he was another fake out character was really irritating. But not only was he a fake out, but he was coming back with us as part of the Astral Express crew. Which I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna excuse it, right? We're gonna see what they cook. Surely, it sounded like Sunday was going to guaranteed, based off of what they said in 2.7. I'll try to find a screenshot of 2.7 somewhere on the internet where it says he will be going on the next journey with us, right? So he would be the one going on with us. Right, so we had that, and then this is also the area that Black Swan recommended to us. So here I am thinking, alright, so we have Black Swan coming with us to Ampharos to learn about all the memories, and then we have Sunday saying that whatever world it is, as long as it's not a world affected by the harmony, he will be coming with us. And the first thing we get after discussing the train is first, Sunday is not at the meeting. Big red flag right there for story-wise. I'm like, where is Sunday? He's supposed to be hyped up as the person that's going to be coming with us. Why isn't he here? Come to find out, he's not in the vote, or whatever. You get going, you find out, oh, the vote's cleared, you're going to Ampharos, right? Next, what happens? You find out you're going with Dan Hung. March is obviously sick with something, right? You don't know what it is, but you've been told that you and Dan Hung are going to be the two that go together to Ampharos. And automatically, I'm just like, whoa, wait. You're telling me that the two characters you hyped up to be coming with us on this journey aren't even starting off with us initially. That already irked me. Like, the fact that they set up for, specifically as well, that they set up for Sunday to be coming with us, and then he just doesn't go right off the bat. That was already like, whoa, all right. But that's the main beginning part going in, right? Already like really disappointed by that. So we go in, you get hit by a spear, you land on the planet, right? Then you interact with Meme, which is obviously the embodiment of remembrance that you're gonna interact with throughout here. But you basically find Meme, and you go through, you do all this sort of stuff, and then you're slowly getting introduced to the cast over time. For consistency's sake and for my own sanity, whatever his name is in this game, I am calling him Kevin, because I'm also sure there's going to be a plot twist where he's going to become Kevin. That's just my prediction, but we'll find out. But for consistency's sake, I'm just going to call him Kevin, because that was his name in Honkai Impact 3rd, right? So Kevin comes up with Trebi, and you're introduced to them, right? They save you. They say, oh, be glad, like, I forget what the names of the people are. Honestly, the story was, like, really, honestly, like, the storytelling itself for this patch wasn't bad. The delivery of it was what was really irking me. They had a good job. They had a really good setup for telling the story. But the impact and the way they presented it was just awful. So they're going through doing, obviously, beginning patch. They want to do all the exposition they can, right? So they're giving you exposition, telling you about the Titans, the descendants of the Golden Blood, all of that stuff, right? And you're getting told all the history of it. You meet Aglia, you meet Trebi, you meet Midra, or however you pronounce his name, and you meet Kevin. And then you're being told that you're going to help them. You find out that Ampharos can't go outside, or anyone in Ampharos cannot go to the outside world, to the stars above, or else the gods will smite them. And basically you're told by Aglia to promise not to tell anyone about it. So that happens. You accidentally let that slip. Aglia threatens to kill you, but it turns out, oh, she was just pretending to kill you, so that way your bond with Castranus and Kevin would be closer. Which, sure, okay. Now we're gonna really talk about that, because that was just weird. But you're there, right? And it's just like, alright. So now we're there. Now we're going to fight the Titan, once again. Because we previously had come back to the city, and we fought a remnant of the Titan. And then come to find out, we have now secured the location of the Titan, and we're going to fight him. So, a lot of exposition, a lot of storytelling. I think one of my main gripes of it was just the delivery. Like, the delivery felt really off. And for a patch that's supposed to set you up for basically an entire version storyline, it was really lackluster. And this might just me be doing a bit of rambling, because this is just me talking while playing, but I genuinely do feel like the delivery could have been a lot better in certain parts. I think one example of that is when you're at the bathing house, right, and you're going there to learn about the history of Ampharos, right? A butterfly like pops out of the sink, and it's teaching you about the history. One thing that really irked me is they just set up the animation of Dan Hun looking at you looking at the butterfly, and the butterfly talking. There was like no imagery, no like slideshow with it. They're basically giving you all of the history without like showing you any imagery with it. So you're just getting a giant history lesson of text. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind reading. I love reading books. But when you've already told me the story like 2 times already, and you're telling me it again for a 3rd time, and you have no imagery to help me like visualize this a little better, it tends to get a bit annoying. because you've already drilled into my head this story 2 separate other times, and then you repeat it, and it's just a butterfly animation swing over a pool. It very infuriating, I'm not gonna lie. So then, when you, where was I? Oh yeah, Titan, right? So, obviously I've mentioned that, but basically you find out the whole story, you find out that you gotta hunt Titan, so you go with Midday and Kevin to go hunt the other Titan. Now, do we get to see Aglia do anything? Nope. So Aglia still has yet to do anything here. We're going over there. We find out, oh hey, we need help from this one Titan that can control time. Let's go get help from it, yada yada yada. You go through, you find out about the Titan, you find out it's not really hostile towards humans, but it doesn't like them. Whoop-de-doo, you have March's camera. It discovers that it kind of likes you. It says, alright, cool. You come over here, you get meme, fully gazes on you, and it's just like, oh hey, here's the remembrance path, here's Mem. Mem can help you discover the memories to go into the past, so that way you can stop the Titan from getting its mortal body. So you go into the past, you go around with what is the Strife Titan's sanity, basically, his reason. You're walking around with his reason, and you're helping traverse time, which already setting up a time travel power to where you actually go into the past and affect something, and then come back in through memories. Is really, really bad setup for time travel wise. Like, when you start delving into time travel in stories, you have to make sure you do it really well, and you have to make sure the consequences make sense. But here, right away, we don't see any real consequences. We're just told, oh hey, the Strife Titan is now at full power, and you gotta fight him at full power to get to Core Flame. Now, is there any repercussions to you going into the past to do that? Does anyone remember you going into the past? No. Is there any tales of you in the past right now? No. Any showing of you in the potential prophecies because of what you did going into the past? No. So already that's looking very bad. So we've already got storytelling and delivery is pretty bad right now, and we've got time travel now, which is already a very touchy topic for fiction when trying to make it seem plausible in a story. And you just basically said, yeah, they're just going to go back in time, and there's really no visual repercussion to it that you can see. And it's just like, oh, okay, so they just time traveled without any repercussions at all. That's fantastic. So we get that. You beat the Titan. You go back. I should say, you do get to play as Agla, and I say quote-unquote play because unless you had to select her on your team, or actually put her on her team, you don't actually play as her. You just kind of walk around and discover the 3 points that the Strife Titan put to infiltrate the city, and then you kind of just go, oh hey, we're going to cleanse these areas, and then you fight using your team. You don't actually use Agla, right? So you've got that, and then after that, it strands back. You're fighting the Titan. You beat the Titan. The Titan tries to shoot a blast at the city. Tribe does this weird thing where she blocks the blast, and you beat the Titan. Yay, you've got the Core Flame. Then after you get the Core Flame, you head back. Then you're gonna have a ritual where Kevin has to accept the Core Flame, and basically you find out when he goes to do the ritual that, oh hey, his fighting strength and capabilities are all set, but his mind's kind of fucky-wooky. So you gotta test the mind. And so you're left on a cliffhanger there by having to wait for him to test his mind, and that's the end of the main story for that patch, basically. You get to do a part with Herda, where she's basically trying to contact Eos, and she's trying to do that. You correct a system, you try to go contact Eos, and then Welt and Sunday interrupt her. Right, so already, the Herda, the main staple of 3.0, the main selling point of 3.0, the Herda, basically has 0 to 0 interaction in the first patch of the story. Like, even Firefly, a character who eventually came out in like 2.3, 2.2, I don't remember which one. But she had more impact and was the more staple character for story than the Herta. And Herta's supposed to be your frontlining character for this version. And you know what impact she has? None. She gets shown at the very end of the 3.0 story, and you get hit with a to be continued after they tell her that March is sick and you can't contact you or Danhong. And then obviously March is being encased in ice. And that's where you're left off. So far, if we go back to the story, you've beaten a Titan, but you haven't taken the core flame, which means 3.1 is most likely going to be an exposition story, where you're taking the core flame, and then you're going to figure out where another Titan is, but then it's probably going to end off right before you go to fight that Titan, and it's going to be probably put off to 3.2, based off how they're pacing this right now. So, already, the pacing looks to be, it's going to be drawn out. Already, I don't like the pacing of the story. The delivery is really horrendously bad, in my opinion. You have barely any imagery, because like I think a perfect example is to take like Zenless Zone Zero, where at least with Zenless Zone Zero, when they do some explaining of stuff, when they want to be lazy and don't want to do animations, because let's be real, the animations for Zenless Zone Zero are actually very intricate, and I do appreciate that when they do cutscenes. But when it comes to stuff like Honkai Star Rail, you don't really see that. They do a still image and they put text over it for the next 10 minutes. And it kind of like breaks your immersion a lot. And that was really irritating. Or they won't even have an image and you'll just be there watching something explain something while it does animation 1, animation 2, animation 3, cycle back to animation 1. It's really, really annoying trying to get into the story when there's so much that just takes me out of it. It truly is. I was trying my best to stick through that story and figure out everything that was going on, but I just couldn't because of just how bad the delivery was. All in all, like, I'm very disappointed with how the 3.0 story is. I really do hope it gets better in 3.1 and they fix some stuff, like they fix some little like inconsistencies, because there are inconsistencies there, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. I do know there was one very big inconsistency in their storytelling. I'm just like, that doesn't feel right. But the story was honestly so bland and like so tiring that I genuinely can't remember half of it. I don't remember the finite details. That's how bad it was to drag along for it. It was really annoying. But aside from me just rambling now about my thoughts about how I thought the story was kind of mediocre, just going forward, I really do hope that they can make the story a little more interesting for me, because I really do love Honkai Star Rail. I do. I think it's a really great game to play. It's enjoyable, and I love the turn-based combat. But if the story is going to be the way it is, then, like, it's just going to become Genshin Impact. It's just going to become a paved way for Zenless Zone Zero to diverge from the other two's bad practices. Because, like, slowly but surely, we're seeing Honkai Star Rail start to become what Genshin Impact is. And I really don't like that. But that's just me rambling on a bit about how I just didn't like the 3.0 story, and I wish it was a bit better told and just better delivered. It felt like a filler patch. It did. I hate to say that, but the brand new version update felt like a filler patch. But that's just my ramblings. All in all, I just hope things get better, and I just really do hope they improve what is being placed down right now, because it has a great foundation. 3.0 has a great foundation to be a good story. It's just they are starting off on a very bad foot, because both of their front-running characters that you are supposed to be connected to for the banners, right, barely have like 10 minutes of screen time actually playing with them. And even then, you're technically not even playing them. You're just walking around as them, and then, oh hey, attack this enemy, and then guess what? You're not even playing as the actual character. Like Aglia, you don't fight as her. Herda, you don't fight as her. You just walk around as them. So, really, really annoying. They're slowly going to the way that Genshin Impact was, and all in all, I just hope that they kind of fix this and they don't become Genshin Impact, because then I'm just gonna drop the game and play Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves. But yeah, I guess this is just my thoughts while I wait on the Wuthering Waves video. Like I said, I'm gonna be honest, really did not like this patch. I hope, especially since like at the start, I can show it off right now since I'm talking while playing, kind of. This 3.0 story event, right, started off with 0 events, by the way. There is 0 events. I'll show it right here. Let's for a look. The events we have are Ilia Travel Day, right, which is for 40 days, which is a single event starting off. You've got a buff to Divergent Universe, so you can get to level 100 faster. And you have this friend invite one. And that's it. That's the events. So, honestly, pretty rough start to 3.0. I am not going to lie. But who knows? Maybe they make some improvements in 3.1. Maybe they add better events. They change the way that their delivery for the story is. But right now, on my honest first impression of the 3.0 story, I'm not impressed. But with that being said, I do hope that they try to improve it. And I will see you guys all next time for when I make another video. Peace.